Hey there, everyone. That sexy nerd is back again, and we got more extra history here. I know I haven't done one of these in a while and been missing a lot of videos, but I did do the Hypatia video, and I did do Sitting Bull. I know I should get back on them, but just time passes too quickly, and I've had way too many projects that I've had to work on, but I can't forget about history. And who's a more infamous historical figure than Benedict Arnold? Yeah. Over the years, I've learned more about the guy, and I've kind of become sympathetic to his cause because, American drama and whatnot. I feel like I don't think he should have betrayed his country, but I can understand why he did it. And I'm sure this video is going to show why. Because some people get left by the wayside and get screwed over, and boy did that Benedict Arnold get screwed over by America. So I want to know how he lived the rest of his life, and I'd like to know a more in-depth look on him. But if you really want me to put the Hypatia and the Sitting Bull videos up, let me know in the comments below. I haven't gotten a lot of views on these, but still, some people still like to watch them. Let me know if I should do more of them, and I'll do more of them. And yeah, that's really pretty much it. So please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And remember, check out my Patreon for more unedited reactions to all videos that don't make it up on don't make it up on YouTube. And let's see this thing, y'all.
Benedict Arnold has been exposing himself to fire all day, leading the Continental Army in an aggressive attack on British positions. Victory is in sight. But suddenly, a musket ball shatters his leg, then drives deep into his horse's chest. His mount rears in panic and falls directly onto Arnold. Now, in another world, the horse might have rolled over on him, splintering Arnold's ribs and crushing him to death. In that timeline, perhaps he's become one of America's greatest heroes. Towns across the country bear his name. Generations of children graduate from Benedict Arnold Elementary School. Soldiers will train for the World Wars at Camp Arnold. And during the Cold War, a ballistic missile submarine christened for him would patrol the deep. But in our timeline, the horse just crushes his leg, the same one wounded at Quebec. A timeline where Benedict Arnold's name will receive only one commemoration. It's listed in American dictionaries as a synonym for traitor.
Wow. Really? I forgot about that. It basically is.
Real quick before we continue, we are in the legend, but if you haven't yet, please come see what we've been working on and why it was fully funded in just the first 4 hours at the link below.
Whoa.
At the time of the Battle of Saratoga, Benedict Arnold was one of the most respected, admired, and famous men in the Continental Army. Compared to Caesar by none other than John Adams, he was often named as only second to Washington in his military abilities. In addition to his escapades in Quebec and on Lake Champlain, which you can learn about in our series here, he went on to
I should have watched that.
He harried a British force that had made a coastal raid on Connecticut, caused a different British force to end a siege by tricking them into thinking reinforcements were inbound, and played a major role in the American victory at Saratoga. So in many ways, Arnold had won the respect and accolades that he'd so wanted. And yet, he was miserable. Part of it was physical. The wound from Saratoga refused to heal. Told they might have to amputate, he instead opted for them to reset the leg in a painful operation that left it 2 inches shorter. Unable to stand for more than a few minutes, he spent months rotting on the sidelines at Valley Forge, unable to fight. Still, he begged for a command, perhaps in the Navy, where his expertise as a merchant seaman could be useful and his disability less of a hindrance. All he got from Congress, however, was a restoration of his rank of Major General. It was a promotion he'd received long before, but congressional wrangling had held up its ratification. And instead of seeing it as a reward, Arnold interpreted it as pity. In fact, Arnold, who was likely traumatized from heavy combat, was depressed and increasingly disillusioned. His quarrelsome and aggressive streak, a quality that had made him a great soldier, had also damaged his career. Arnold rubbed people the wrong way and frequently made comrades into enemies. In addition to his conflicts with Ethan Allen during the actions on Lake Champlain, see episode 1 of our Invasion of Canada series for that, he also feuded with another officer named John Brown on the Quebec expedition, accusing Brown of pillaging British officers' baggage and mismanaging occupied Montreal. As a result, Brown had hit back in a newspaper with his own financial accusations, sparking a bitter feud. During the Saratoga campaign, when Army Commander General Horatio Gates took credit for a strategy Arnold devised, Arnold got into a shouting match with Gates in front of his staff, leading him to be removed from command and forbidden to take further part in the battle. Arnold fought anyway, leading the spectacular attack that both won the battle and destroyed his leg. Now, it's important to understand that all of this scrambling for promotions, for credit, for reputation and status, this was a huge feature of the Continental Army. Anytime an officer leveled an accusation at another, it would become a question of honor. Therefore, every time Arnold got in a feud, either he or his opponent often demanded a congressional inquiry or court-martial to vindicate them and restore their reputation. Congress was, frankly, getting sick of it, which was partly why it hadn't favored Arnold over much. They were trying to form a country during wartime, and glory-hounding officers like Arnold were becoming an irritant. Meanwhile, Arnold was becoming sick of Congress. Later, Arnold would claim that he always had been a moderate revolutionary who wanted America to remain in the British Empire once its grievances were addressed. The Declaration of Independence happened while he was in the field, and supposedly he had not agreed with it. Likewise, he became even more unsettled when the victory at Saratoga brought France into the war on the side of the United States. As a Connecticut Protestant, Arnold detested Catholic France and considered it a blatant hypocrisy for the new republic to betray its ideals by siding with an absolutist monarchy. He was also increasingly angry at the ineffectual and contradictory nature of Congress, which seemed to want to control everything, yet accomplished little. Congress had also, on multiple occasions, quibbled with Arnold's bookkeeping while on campaign. Now, it should be noted that some historians don't really buy these later ideological claims and think they were after-the-fact justifications for his actions. You be the judge. Either way, though, that didn't stop him from signing an oath of allegiance in May of 1778, swearing that the United States was independent and he would defend it against King George III. And the next month, Arnold finally received his reward. A post as military governor of Philadelphia, recently vacated by the British. This was an inexplicably bad decision on Washington's part. Arnold had zero political sense, was highly impatient, and frequently initiated or exacerbated quarrels. He was the worst possible person to drop into the volatile politics of post-occupation Philadelphia, one of America's richest cities, and also its most politically radical. Philadelphia was the capital of the Revolution for a reason. The civil authorities there were the most extreme fringe of independence-minded patriots and were loath to accept military authority over their city. That patriot faction was also locked in a bitter feud with the city's loyalist families, who, during the British occupation, had been hospitable to the occupying soldiers, keeping an active social scene of balls, theatrical entertainment, and masks on the menu. Among the most flagrant was the 18-year-old Peggy Shippen, the beautiful daughter of a loyalist family who had briefly courted British officer Major John Andre. Please remember those names for later. Then Arnold came into Philadelphia like a bull in a nuclear reactor. Not only did he live an extravagant lifestyle there, with a carriage and footman acting much like the British governor before him, he kept up the rollicking social scene that the Patriots so hated. He also started to dabble in corruption, perhaps already beginning to rebel against the rebellion.
Well, now I don't feel so bad for him anymore. Like, damn. What an asshole.
Most of it was small stuff, not uncommon among American officers, like ferrying private goods in public wagons. But he did also engage in profiteering and intervened in a maritime dispute between privateers, offering to help one side in exchange for a cut of the prize money. Acts that the civil authorities secretly documented. But what got him in the most hot water was how much time he spent with the city's loyalist families, particularly the Shippen family, because he was besotted with Peggy Shippen, flooding her with overtures of love and marriage proposals for 9 months. Regardless, by 1779, things were finally looking up for Arnold. Not only was he seriously pursuing an engagement after 4 years as a widower, but the state of New York had offered him a huge fiefdom of private land in recognition of his heroics and as an incentive for him to settle there. Yet, when he left the city to go see the property, that's when the civil authorities pounced, accusing.
Hey, I'm John Krasinski. Get the family together to watch my new film, If, now streaming on Paramount+.
You ready for this?
Yes.
accusing him of corruption and publishing their evidence in the newspaper. The controversy not only caused New York to withdraw their offer, it also put Arnold's tentative engagement to Peggy in jeopardy. More annoyingly still, the Philadelphia authorities had joined with his old enemy, John Brown, who again filed charges against him that Congress had already investigated and dismissed years before. Arnold begged Washington for a court-martial to exonerate him, but the trial kept being delayed due to the military situation. This left Arnold in mental turmoil, the only relief coming in April of 1779, when he and Peggy finally wed. Yet, barely a month later, a despondent Arnold was once again begging Washington to clear his name. Arnold had given everything: his health, his leg, his neglected business in Connecticut. His first wife had died with him absent, for God's sake. Having sacrificed every form of blood and fortune and become a cripple in the service of my country, he wrote, I have little expected to meet the ungrateful returns to which I have received from my countrymen. But as Congress have stamped ingratitude as the current coin, I must take it. Washington did not reply promptly, and within days, Arnold was looking at another option. For if Congress did not appreciate him, perhaps he could turn to someone who could. Like, say, Peggy's old flame, Major John Andre, to whom she was still in contact, and who now served on the staff of British General Sir Henry Clinton as his chief of espionage.
Why is she still in contact with him?
You know what that means. Spy love triangle next week, baby.
Wow.
Mark that on your calendar. Wait, you have a...
So yeah, pretty damn good. I'm also gonna do the invasion of Quebec first. I'm gonna do that and release this video, or I probably just release this video. But yeah, very interesting stuff. Great start. I can't wait to see more because I really want to learn more about this era, because all I you know, I mean, I know everything from the American side, but you know, I don't know much about what Benedict Arnold was going through during this time. But I will be doing that invasion of Quebec probably first, so we'll get it up there soon. And remember, please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you deserve it. And remember, check out my Patreon, link in the description below. And I'll see you on the next video.